Alright guys, welcome to day 6, nearly did 7, day 6 of, nearly did it again. Welcome to day 6 of Northern Powerhouse Week 2019, and yeah, second to last beer. So coming to a close. I've said this pretty much in every video after the second one. I've enjoyed all the beers up to this point, and I'm sure that this will not disappoint either. And yes, my hair is looking a bit right wing. In fact, how misshapen does my head look like that? Anyway, so yeah, I've got a bit of the old Western. No, we won't go there. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that Powerhouse. What's with all these actually not really clever war and history references? Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yes, so we've got the beer number 6, which is the double dry hopped double IPA, brewed in collaboration with Cloudwater, with artwork coming from Kevin Keates. Again, has that sort of tattoo aesthetic to it, which I found up with quite a few of the beers so far, which is not a problem, because even though I don't have a tattoo on my body, I would like to get a tattoo one day. I'd love to be able to pull off like a full sleeve of just random little, designs and that sort of stuff. But I'll get a lot of stick for that, and rightfully so, because it's me. Anyway, so 8.2% ABV double IPA, brewed with Nelson Sauvin Citra BBC, oi oi, and Simcoe Cryo, registered trademark. And yeah, so for the double IPA in this series, we've brought in our friends at Cloudwater to help us brew this Nelson Sauvin led offering, backed up with the classic tropical notes of Citra. New Zealand Nelson brings tons of gooseberry and Sauvignon grape character to this smooth, oat-rounded beer. 440ml can, just like the other beers up to this point. Don't know why I had to point that one out, but oh well. So yeah, 2 powerhouses in their own right. And oh, look at that. That is just like pineapple juice. I had to think them for a second. Yeah, that is cloudy. That is a lovely pale cloudy looking beer. One of those ones where you look like you could dip your finger in and it would dent. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, compact, murky, hazy, chicken stock almost, with about 1 finger's worth of a white head. Nice and soapy, dissipating quite nicely, looking very lovely in this glass. I love this glass. I love the use of colour on the detailing. But anyway, so looks fantastic. Vibration, probably heard that on the mic, and there's wind, so you're probably hearing that as well. Oh, and there's a chemtrail over there. We're all going to die. Anyway, so on the nose. Oh yeah, that's lovely. It's one of those familiar sort of aromas, but you cannot get enough of it. But yeah, big melon, pineapple, mango. Lovely dank edge to it as well. Very slight oniony, garlicky, savoury tone, or like caramelised. But yeah, lovely, bright, vibrant, bready, biscuity malts coming through as well. But yeah, loads of citrus character, blood orange specifically, a little bit of lemon. It's got a sharpness of lime coming through. Has a sort of a sherbety aroma as well. That smells really good. It's not the most in your face aromas, but when you do get your nose in and take a big whiff, it smells wonderful. So yeah, let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. Oh yes. Oh, that does not disappoint. And it's got, apology if you keep seeing me licking my teeth, but I've just had some, I made some sun-dried tomato, pistachio and basil pesto. Just had on a couple of slices of bread, baked in the oven, Parmesan cheese sprinkled on top. Oh, it was glorious. So that's why I'm getting like the bits between my teeth. Although you can probably see it on camera. In fact, my teeth are in awful condition. But that's because of an ignorant childhood, and I'm paying the price now. Also, with the slight turn in my eye, could have had that sorted out because a specialist came all the way from the other end of the country to like realign. And because I was a wimpy kid, I just said no. And basically he had to fly all the way back, although he could have drove or got the train. But yeah, so anyway, we'll not carry on talking about how much of a stupid kid I was. Oh, but yeah, this smells good. Yeah, I'd say, even though I'm not usually the biggest fan of Nelson Sauvin hops, they're adding so much character to this beer. Loads of it's got like a slightly puckering gooseberry flavour to it from the times that I've had gooseberry in beer. So it's got a little bit of tartness that comes up on the finish as well, which is quite interesting, which I've not had that very often with a beer like this. So it's not just another hazy double IPA. There's actually something there that, like the nose, is very familiar, because let's face it, everyone's brewing beers like this, and there's a plane going on above me. I'm probably saying all that and it's not actually picking up on the microphone, so I look like a knobhead, which is more than a, well, what's different there, let's be honest. That ABV is masked beautifully, not picking up, that is just smashable as anything. And I tell you what, Cloudwater have rarely come back for vengeance with their IPAs, which they never really took their foot off the pedal, let's be honest. But there was a time where other breweries like Shining and the rise of Verdant and Dare and Track, Locopoly or Polly's Brew. So there was a time where, after the big hype of Cloudwater, it's like they're still brewing, solid beers. But then over the last 6 months, I'd say there's been a resurgence. And I mean, Tastes Like Citra was a gorgeous beer. I don't know why I didn't pick up that on can. Pick that up in can. Not can as in France. I mean can as in a vessel to hold the liquid. But yes, what am I saying? I don't know. It's just smelling damn good. But I'm smelling it now. It's like someone's freshly squeezed a lemon into there. Like when you've got like breaded chicken or pork or fish, battered fish, and you squeeze some lemon at the end. I'm getting that sort of characteristic, minus, batter and breadcrumb. It's prickly carbonation. A little bit of a velvety body to it. Not the heaviest, but it's by far a medium mouthfeel. It's just the right consistency and not too rich or in your face. There is a slightly green hop character to it, but I think it actually works in this beer. A little bit of dankness, a little bit of resin. Again, that sort of caramelised, sweetened onion and garlic characters coming through. It's actually reminded me a lot of the IPAs that were coming out when this big boom was happening. But it's sort of like, because that was like these brewers are getting used to brewing that style of beer that's become popular in America. And of course Cloudwater, probably one of the breweries on the forefront of that. And then of course they just took it to a different level. But yeah, it's almost like it's got a feeling of going back to its roots, but with a little bit more, experience. And yeah, I mean, Northern Monk have been producing some absolutely stellar, double IPAs themselves. So, you get the two breweries together and you're in for a treat. But yeah, it tastes like a Cloudwater beer, and it tastes like a Northern Monk beer. And there's actually bitterness on the back end, which is always welcome. Because I know a lot of breweries now just putting loads of fruit pulp into their beers, which Simon from Real Ale Craft Beer, when he was reviewing that tropical IPA from Northern Monk, Stigbigots, and was it Garage? And to the point where it's like those fruity characters sort of took over from the beer. I mean, I didn't fully agree with what he was saying and the way he was saying it in the video, but that admittedly was a beer that I did pass on because I'm getting a little bit burnt out with you know, fruits being thrown into beer like that, especially, you know, the typical mango puree, papaya puree, that sort of thing. And don't even get me started on is it passion fruit? Thank you, Mikola, for putting me off passion fruit in beers. Even though I don't think passion fruit was in that recent one, if it was at guava, I can't remember. I only watched the video this morning as well. But yeah, thankfully, it doesn't overtake, and there's not even any fruit in this. What the hell am I saying? I'm just jumping from one topic to another. And I just dribbled a little bit. And I think that's what the... It's one of those beers that you just casually knock back and talk, do you know what I mean? But if you sit back and savour it, you get a lot. And the more I'm drinking it now, the more savoury it's getting. So it's minor interruption. It's slowly getting a bit more, as it's cooling down a bit and breathing in the glass. The flavours are changing slightly, but yet juicy, fruity, citrusy, with a little bit of that Nelson Sauvin giving a grape-like character, but not too much. I'm not usually a big fan of, you know, those sorts of flavours. And I'm not usually a big fan of, you know, Nelson Sauvin hops. But yeah, well, Simcoe's in there, so that's where that dank edge is coming from. Yeah, this is one of those instances where I think if this was left in the can for a few weeks, it might get a little bit more rounded. But it's not harsh. I think this is a really good point to drink this beer. I mean, it was released... Well, when you're watching this, you're going to be watching this on Thursday the 4th. It was released the week previously, so it's as fresh as you can get, basically. Well, they've obviously had to sit on the beers before they can send them out, but it's fresh. It's a fresh collaboration between Northern Monk and Cloudwater. And I think there is room for this beer to actually sort of mellow out and go into a different direction. But you're not going to be disappointed if you drink this now. I mean, I know I've had some beers from the likes of Cloudwater and the, you know, big ones were and Verdant, where you drink it and you get like hop burn. But not with this. It's just the right amount of it, and I look more 90s the more I play with my hair. Going to the Hacienda later on tonight. God, I'd love to have gone to the Hacienda. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it just looks wonderful, doesn't it? It's not a luminous. It's got that sort of like chalkiness to it, cloudiness, and it's something a little bit different. There's something about this beer that's a little bit different, and I think it is the utilisation of Nelson Sauvin in it. But it's not at that point where, oh, it's Nelson Sauvin. Do you know what I mean? It's just the right amount of that used, I'd say. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Lovely mouthfeel. Yeah, I can't really fault it too much. Oh, and there's the Manchester Bee. Joseph Holt have actually collaborated with the Manchester Bee and released some really nice glasses, which I might have to get my hands on. So, in terms of a rating then, I'm going to give this one, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I wasn't expecting this to be a disappointing beer. You've got two of the best breweries in the UK, as with most, you could say that with any beer so far in this series. And yeah, double dry up, double IPA makes perfect sense. They've done a wonderful job, lovely artwork, and yeah, 9 out of 10. So if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you've tried any of the Northern Powerhouse series this year, then I'd love to compare notes in the comments. If you've been drinking along when I've been doing this, then that's wonderful as well. I do appreciate that. And yeah, so go check out Cloudwater, go check out Northern Monk. I've got quite a few reviews from each brewery, as you would expect, so you can look that up on the YouTube channel. And if you need to see any of the previous episodes from this series, then the playlist is always going to be down below. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be the final beer, and it's the only beer that I'm not going to be actually putting in the fridge and chilling down, because the final collaboration without spoiling it, although it's easy to look it up. It's brewed in collaboration with a brewery I've not tried before, and that is it By the River Brewing? Can't remember. I think they're up in Newcastle. And I've just realised when I did my Don Zoco review, I mistakenly said, I'm sure I said they were from the Yorkshire area. You could not be further from the truth. They're actually from the northeast, so I do apologise. Hopefully, because I've not uploaded that video yet, because it's only Tuesday as I'm recording this. Mind you, was that the second beer that they did? I think it might have been, you know. So that's going to be updated. I'll leave a witty little remark to myself in the description of that video. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about? Lovely beer. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. Perfect night for it. And yeah, hopefully you'll join me tomorrow for the final of this, and then I might do another video tomorrow, just doing a bit of a roundup of what I thought of each beer. Anyway, thank you for watching, and you all take care. Cheers.